Good morning, and it's a beautiful sunny noon time, mediodía, in Palmira, Panama, in the Chiriquí highlands. So the biggest news for us is that we got about 300 square meters of sod laid, and that equates to about 360 square yards. The debacle of the whole thing was that the truck, once it got here, decided it didn't want to come up our driveway, up our hill. So we had to go down in 3 different pickup trucks and haul all the sod up. So we had to unload it, load it, and then haul it up the hill, unload it, and then lay it. So it was a task, but we're happy with the results. The sod cutter here, the sod cutting technique was not perfect. A lot of the sod, you can see, has some the corners are torn and there's some chunks out. There's actually quite a bit of that. So we're going to have to repair that, and it won't be hard. This is called Zoysia El Toro grass, and it is very drought resistant, which in the dry season we are drought. It's very tolerant of shade, and as you can see, we do have a partial shade down through here. It is really not a lot of requirements for water. It's a very thick turf, and so it keeps weeds down. So I'm really happy with it. The best part of it was that the sod, the cost of the sod for a square meter, which is about 3 feet 6 inches squared, they actually cut it 18 inches wide, and it's almost 7 feet long. So they are heavy. Anyway, $1.75 for a square meter. So we were very happy with that. This is load number 1. We probably have about 2 more loads to go. So let me show you a couple other things, and then I'll take you down there and show you the sod looking up the hill rather than down the hill. But let me show you that the carport roof is now on. There it is. See the truck parked outside the carport. But anyway, so the whole idea with the carport, of course, is that we be able to pull up underneath the carport when it's raining to be able to go in to the side door so we don't get wet. So this is the way it looks. They've got to finish the concrete, put the rapeo on the posts, and they've got the electricity in and all that kind of stuff. So it won't be long. This will be done. I think they'll be pouring the floor in it this week. Also, something that is nearing completion anyway is that the trench that you heard me talk about the rain and how it just poured down the side and actually did quite a bit of damage on our hill and a lot of soil erosion where you now see the sod. But anyway, this channel is now complete. It goes all the way up. You can see it going out there toward the truck, comes down out to the edge of the drip line here, and then all the way down. And this is actually like a in-ground eaves trough. The reason we didn't want an eaves trough is because of all the trees. Obviously, there would be a lot of leaves, and the eaves troughs would be constantly clogged. So we have this channel on the ground, and it's been a while getting to this point. But as we got the soil in and we were starting to landscape that over the hill where the sod is, the rain was just wreaking havoc. So we had to get this in, and it kind of makes me think every time I look at this of the first time we realized that this runoff, because it was right at the beginning of raining season, that this runoff was going to be a big issue for the terraces that we built over here on the cliff. So we knew it was going to wreak havoc here. We knew it was going to wreak havoc down there. And so while my sister and brother-in-law Pat were here, Pat was down here with me one day, and our neighbor Hector came down and he said, oh my gosh, he said, you've got to channel this water away from the ledge. So Pat and Hector were frantically trying to get a little handmade trench, not a little one, a big handmade trench put in here. And every time I look at this, I'll always remember that as kind of a, well, it probably wasn't special for Pat, but it was special for me because he will always be part of this. And so that's a pretty neat thing. So carport, as we told you, windows, not all of them are in. We still got a few missing. I guess it's going to be a couple weeks for those. Our kitchen cabinetry should be coming, probably not this week coming up, but the week after. There's Mary Carol sitting over there. I'll let her say hi. And Dad, who were watching me water the sod. Well, Mary was working, but Dad was watching me. Say hello.
Hello.
Wave.
Hola.
So, anyway, let me just come down here. I'm going to take you down into the ravine for just a minute. Oh, and what I may have showed you last time, I'm not sure, but this trench, as it comes down, it is actually in layers too, but when it gets to the bottom, it goes into this deep hole, and then we're running a pipe that's going to take all the water right down into the, just past the waterfall, and it'll take it right out to the creek out there. And so all of that water is being diverted off the property into the gully and out into the creek. So anyway, coming down here now, got a little bit of path construction here because of the pipe that's going to be coming. This is another view of it. So the pipes will be coming down and just into that gorge right there, just past the edge of the waterfall. So coming down here, I just wanted to kind of show you a couple new things. There's the Great Wall, as we call it. But over here, where Victor put in this wall, Mary's done some plantings up here. And so that's the first of what we'll have planting-wise. But as I've told you, this wall is complete, coming right down to the waterfall. But what's new is Victor has started on this side. So as you come off of the wall where the gabions are filled with rock, and then that wall that he built, you get to the path that goes up, and now we'll have rock wall. It'll probably be about that high, and then it'll taper down at this end. Then this area here, just before you go over the edge, we're going to fill this with small rock, create a little waterfall up here. And I'm not sure if I've ever shown you this up close before. I'm moving kind of gingerly, but that's the waterfall. This is where it goes over. We're going to clean all these sticks up and take these branches out. But it's a very pretty view down through there. And just where you see the sunlight back past there, that's where the creek is. So it's not far away. And in the heart of the rainy season, you can hear that creek moving pretty quickly. So anyway, this area right here where you see the soil drop, that's we're going to make our own little waterfall there. And then this will all be covered with rock before ultimately going over the edge and down to the creek. So that's everything that going on down here. Still a work in progress. And we, even though we are well into the rainy season now, we've had about 2 weeks with very little rain. We had a couple of days where we got a couple of soaking rains, and then it's been relatively dry. So anyway, I'm gonna kind of sneak down the edge here, which is a little bit still precarious, but I think I can do it. Can't really go over the edge that easy anymore. But this is the wall we built to elevate this soil. Kind of show you over the edge here. You'll see that it's about a 5-foot drop. So we built this up about 5 feet, leveled it off down here. You can see down in there, that's actually where the creek is, just right down there. So right from the edge here, we've got a good view of the creek. That's a tree, if you can see it right there, that got hit by lightning last rainy season. So it would have been about probably October or so last year, and just burnt that tree right up, and it fell over. But anyway, here it is. Here's a view from down here. You can see about how far we got with the sod. And if you just kind of take a look from this corner, looking up toward the house, I mean, this is a yard. So you can see the different layers of the terracing. You got the first one, the second one, and then there's another one right up top, right before you get close, where Mary and Grandpa are sitting. So walking up the side, we're going to be putting a fence all the way up around the perimeter, so we're not sodding over here right now because it would just be ruined. So, but coming up the side kind of gives you an idea of each layer, each level. So there's one level right there, another level down there at the very bottom. But then when you come up, you've got this level area here, big rock on the corner, and then you come up to another level. Well, this is actually that same level, it just comes right up here, another little terrace, and then this level. Now this level right here is like ground level, so where you come in off the street, you come in and it just continues all the way over. And then this area up by the house, you remember from the previous videos, the house was way elevated, and so we had to bring the dirt up in the front of the house, and we did that by putting in this rock wall, putting the ground all the way up so that it's level with the front porch. Well, we did the same thing over here. We didn't bring it up to the house, but we brought it up to that level and put this rock wall in right here. And so this is another flat area, pretty good sized flat area up here, actually, that we only partially sodded. Again, this is the pieces we kept over to fill the gaps and the holes, but we left that unsodded because they're still doing some work up here. Kind of a neat feature over here, Victor put in some stairs because he saw that we were having trouble navigating the stairs, so he put these in, and so we can just walk easily up to this level. So that has been pretty much what has been going on around here. This is the yard. A yard is born, and here it is. And we will be working to sod the front yard up there by the front porch. We'll be sodding this over here, and then we'll also be sodding up behind the carport once they're done with that. Now what we ultimately have to do is we have to sod that area up behind that rock wall that we put in, because we have, we just have a gradual slope here, so we are just going to continue that flat. But this is where the water tanks are, and you can see they're just about ground level, and they have put a cement wall all the way around that. And I'll take you up, show you. So this is the wall around our water tanks, and there'll be a lid going on this. We'll just put plants or something around here, but there's the natural slope going down to where the driveway is. So we will, we'll maintain that. But I guess my point was all this has to be sodded too. So we have a lot of grass going in, but ultimately we think that it's going to be a nice yard. We'll get the grass in. We'll worry about putting gardens and plantings and things like that in later. This is the massive tree that we couldn't really dig the soil back to the tree because we were getting into roots. So we had to leave this elevated. We're going to put a brick wall around that, and then that'll just be elevated. It kind of goes up and right out to the street. We're doing a little construction out there too. That was a path out to the street. Well, we've widened that about 2 feet, 3 feet maybe. So you see the piles of dirt, but that's actually very good topsoil that we'll be using. Fence will go right along that way, and then the path will remain. So anyway, that is it from Panama today, Sunday, June the 6th. Again, beautiful sunny day. Noontime. We're getting ready to head home for lunch, and we'll talk to you next time.